about 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 are going to be single. And if you look at different conversations based upon the study, there was this emphasis on the she economy, basically the rise of an economy where women are getting into more positions of power, getting into more positions into corporate world, specifically into white collar positions, things of that nature. And this goes back to my earlier point.
So in today's video, by the way, welcome back to another edition of Capri Social Network. I wanted to show not only this here sister giving her perspective on why the majority of women, 45% that is, will be single according to data and statistics by the year 2030, which will be here right before our eyes as fast as time is flying. After all, look at how the year 2025 is pretty much already over with. Anyways, and I digress. I wanted to let you hear this here beautiful sister give her perspective on why the majority of women, and not just black women in particular, but all races of women, will be single by the year 2030 and childless as well. I forgot to mention that, childless on top of that. And like always, I plan on giving my 2 cents on the matter because I do stumble across my words, and forgive me for doing so. Anyways, listen to the rest of this here post.
One of the reasons I do think there is a big push for women to delay marriage, to not get married at all, to not have kids at all, is because, again, that gives women more time and access to work and slave away for these corporations. Now, hear me. If you're a woman and you truly don't want to get married, you truly don't want to have kids, no issue there. I think the issue is, though, you are having women get to a certain age and they're looking at their biological clock, or they're looking at their life, and they're not happy. And they're saying, crap, I did this, I did that, I'm making this money, or I'm trying to make money, but I'm lonely. Or I am slaving away at this job and I still can't pay enough bills. Or I'm just tired of, holding a cat when I go to sleep. I want to actually have a human being. Like, the issue again to me is that this conversation around women being single and choosing to be single, it's so one-sided. Like, you're not talking about the pros and the cons. We know that there are pros and cons of getting married. Like, marriage is very difficult. Marriage is beautiful, but it's also tough. I think many of us know the pros and the cons. And a lot of times we talk about the negativity because of the amount of people who get divorced. But when it comes to being single, a lot of times that stuff is just breezed over. Like, there aren't also issues associated with it, especially as a woman, especially if you want to have kids, especially if you want to have a family one day, and what it means to waste some of your prime years in corporate world or working 13, 14, 15 hours, not investing in your relationships, not investing in finding a partner, not investing in maybe wanting to have kids, and then you get to a certain age and you want to do that stuff and you can't, or it's harder to do so. This is the kind of stuff that we're not told as women. And again, why? Because there is a profit incentive. It can make companies a lot of money if they have a generation of women who choose not to have kids, who choose to go to work, and they're told that that's going to make them happier. And is it really? I don't know. I honestly don't know if it is, because I think if it was, then society would be, I think, in a different place. And we wouldn't see such negativity and so many women going online and talking about how, depressed they are in one moment, but then they're single and independent, but then they're lonely. Like, honestly, I don't buy it. I don't buy that you can live a lifestyle that is completely against nature, completely against the way God made many of us, and be happy. Like, I just don't think it's believable for most of us.
Now, I wanted to let you hear this here sister who happens to come across as of a Hispanic descent give her perspective on what she thinks about this whole ordeal on behalf of how most women between the ages of 25 to 44 years old, over 45% of them will be not only single, but childless as well, on behalf of, I would say, judging from my personal opinion, due to so many of them having high standards. Not only that, due to how so many of them aren't looking for long-term relationships in that age range. Instead, they want to be able to hook up with guys, if you know what I mean. Want to be able to be looked at as recreational use only, whereas guys could be able to just hook up with them on an intimate level. And after they may hook up with X amount of guys on an intimate level, that's usually it. They want nothing usually else to do with the guys, even if the sex may have been off the chain. Anyways.
Women ages 25 to 44 are going to be single by the year 2030. And you already know that a lot of the guys are going to have an absolute heyday with this. Just another reason to hate on women. But before that happens, I want to talk about the reality of that statistic. It actually makes sense because the average age of people getting married for the first time is going up. Life expectancy is going up. The ability to have a child at an older age has grown thanks to science. And just for mathematical perspective, if every woman between the ages of 25 to 44 got married at the age of 35, that number would be 50%. And this is just yet another tactic to try to scare women into settling for shitty relationships. To me, being single for the rest of my life is actually not something that terrifies me because I am inherently happy with myself and I'm not willing to jeopardize my peace and my happiness for a simple relationship with a man who does not treat me or love me the way that I love myself. Because men are going to treat women how they want to treat women. Being single is not the worst thing that can ever happen to you.
Might I also add, be prepared for a whole lot of you women who may happen to fit that description or to that category. Be prepared to spend a whole lot of lonely nights. And on behalf of you who may not desire to have a long-term partner, as in who may not desire to be in a relationship with a man, a long-term relationship with a man, instead may want to have a pet, either a pet dog or a cat. Be prepared to spend so many nights alone with either your pet dog or cat in your $2,000 a month apartment, and that's just for one bedroom, one bathroom. And not only that, be prepared to be willing to spend so much money on so much Ben and Jerry's ice cream, so many pints every day of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Be prepared to tune in and binge watch so many so many episodes of Tyler Perry's Sisters. If not Tyler Perry's Sisters, so many episodes of Scandal. I could go on and on. Be prepared, ladies, for all you ladies with such high standards, including you ladies who have been on the Kendra G show, I'm trying to say. You same ladies who may have never been married before, may have never had children before, even on behalf of you ladies who may be single mothers, on behalf of how you don't mind going on these types of shows by the likes of either the Kendra G show, and for some of you who may not know about the Ashley, aka Ashley L. Dalton show, and I always are coming on to these shows when these crazy and high unrealistic expectations, where this is why you will be, the majority of you between the ages of, once again, 25 to 44 single by the age 20-30. From my women who are single mothers and never ever have been married before, to my women who don't have kids, never have been married.
Why do you think it is that in 2030, which is not that far away, 45% of women aged 25 to 40 are going to be single and childless? I mean, I will say that society as a whole has made it very challenging to have children. Children are expensive, and it's barely, we're barely able to keep a roof over our head because of the salaries and minimum wage. I mean, you can get into all of that. But I think the underlying unspoken truth is that a lot of women don't They don't want a man who isn't a man. And society as a whole, and we see this, and I see this in the comment section of that video 1,000 times over, most men aged like 35 to 65 blame women for everything. It's a woman's fault that a man abandons his child. No, it's not. It's a man's fault for not stepping up, taking accountability, and being a part of his child's life. It's not a woman's fault. It's not. Ever. Like, ever. You can go to court. I don't care if it costs $200 million to get access to your child. If you have a child, you should be doing anything and everything to be a part of their lives. Women are recognizing that men just don't want to be a part of their child's life. Men want to have children as like a trophy and then leave it to a woman to take care of that child. They're not participating. They're not putting in an effort as a parent. I'm not saying all men, okay? So stop with that trope. But a lot of men and a lot of women ages 25 to 40, although I think this is 44, they're recognizing this as well. And they're saying, you know what? I would rather opt out of that. I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be stressed all the time. See what their mother had to deal with. And they don't want that. And I see that my oldest girlfriend didn't want kids because she saw that her dad abandoned her family and her mother and disappeared. And she doesn't want to be her mom. She doesn't want to be put in a position to where she has to do everything on her own. So women are noticing that. And they're saying, you know what? I'm going to choose to not have children because I know already that whoever I choose, the percent of that person just leaving and walking away and not participating is extremely high. And who is to blame for that? If we're going to put any blame on anybody, who is to blame for that? Fathers who are not raising their boys to be men. The lack of role models, the lack of male role models. The idea that let's continue to push patriarchy even though patriarchy is not working in our society anymore. All of that. And all of that is men. It's all based on men. But they don't want to own it. They don't want to admit it. It's much easier to be, to place the blame on someone else, make it women's fault. It's not. It is men's fault. And that sucks to hear that. But if you start owning it, things will change.